What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Combo Library, and let's talk about the event that's currently happening. And I'm actually recording in between fights, and so let's go for it. But first, it started with the Indian superstar, Jamban Jubilee, and like he fought Killen Socket, and we can barely call it like an actual fight. Unfortunately, uh, it was a KO. Very early KO. I think it was like 20 seconds, 19 seconds, something like that. First round. I made a whole video talking about it. My immediate reaction. Take a look there. But okay. Then we have Mikalev versus Doucette. The fight was actually great. I'm not very familiarized with fighters, but the fight was great. Great kickboxing war. Mikalev body kicks were destroyer. Dynamic back and forth match. But Youssef was also looking for that those power attacks, and Mikalev was more of a kind of volume guy. And yeah, the body kicks, the head kicks, the knockdown. I think it was the second round. Great, great performance. Mikalev showed that he's a very good fighter. He's very dynamic, good footwork, good jabs, good kicks. He has a good future. And let's talk about the fucking Chinese war. I don't have words. It was simply a amazing brawl. Like I don't know how those guys were throwing and eating punches like that. Both of them tough as fuck, very explosive, very powerful, amazing chin. It was honestly a brawl, great brawl. Both of those guys, they are very entertaining. I think I see a bright future in both of those guys. I think at least as kind of fan favorites in a sense. I think that's kind of their stuff. Like those will be the guys that will put energy and put life and hype people up for fights in things such as uh, like pay-per-views. Like you put them on the prelims or maybe one day even like on the actual main events, and those fights are the ones that hype up people. Those fights are the type of fights that kind of take the people that don't know about technique a lot, but they're like the fight, they like the energy of the fight, and you put those guys there, and those casuals watching, saying, "Oh, that's actually very interesting." Even though they don't have big names, those are great fighters to me. That's the future, not only for them themselves, but like Nikolaev and Juset. Those are guys that I think that they have this potential, and I think that's very interesting. Great match. But let's talk about Alexander Topuria versus Dricus. And first of all, Alexander. I'm sorry. Shit. Damn, bro. Okay. Uh, he needs to understand that he is not his brother. He's not Ilya, and I think that he shouldn't be always focusing on that, going forward stuff and the short distance power punches. I think that's a good strategy because of his size and his build. He's similar to his brother in that sense, but he's less powerful. But like, and okay, you put that in, use this time, use this space, but like mix it up. I think that's a big thing. His brother did that transition like basically just a grappler, just a wrestling BJJ guy to a just striker, and it worked for Ilya. Ilya seemed to have a great, amazing talent for boxing, and Alexander is not a bad boxer by any sense, but he should mix it off more. That's the future for him. That he's tough, in my opinion. Mix it up. Use that wrestling. Use that top position and energy. Best some takedowns while you guys are afraid of your power and you are marching forward. You know what I'm saying? But Tikas is a guy that is a great fighter. He managed to not take that much damage. Very defensively sound, keeping that long distance. Like that's what we've been hearing about the whole build-up. He is uh, uh, um, Alexander, the great Volkanovski's partner. You know what I'm saying? He is a good fighter. He uses distance well. I saw honestly a good defense, long distance striking. He showed a somewhat good position from the bottom, a jiu-jitsu guy, and honestly, I think that he has potential if he focuses on that. Like, okay, use his boxing, kind of take that how can I say, kind of Diaz approach in sense. Uh, like we all know those Diaz approach. Like, okay, but of course, don't defend with your chin. Keep the good defense that you're showing. But like, use those long distance strikes. Use the long arms to tackle them, and do some combinations. And when it takes the time and when it's the right moment, you can try to lock up some submissions from the bottom, like we tried. I think that's a good opportunity, especially for the defense of the situation, because the problem with the Diaz approach is the lack of defense. Uh, Diaz brothers only kind of were successful with that because they were Diaz, And even if that's the case, if they were more defensive, by the way, I'm releasing soon a commentary on Nick Diaz. Take a look there. Most likely I have already released. Um, yeah, so take a look if there's the card right there, is because I have already released. So yeah, you know, take that Diaz approach plus defense, and then we're gonna see a good thing for T because I think he has potential. I think both of them have potential. Both of them are without a doubt UFC caliber fighters, and if I'm not wrong, both of them are somewhat young. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they have potential to be ranked. Bantamweight is very stacked. But Alexander, I don't think he is like his brother. I don't think he has the potential to be a champion or even perhaps a top five fighter. But I think he's the guy that both of them have this potential of being those guys that are like always round rankings. Always in that top 10 to top 25 space. I think that's kind of their place. So yeah, great fight. Both of them needs to improve, have to improve, and I think they have the potential to improve. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the future as well. Yes, so the Joker versus Bruno Brazil, uh, it was kind of a good match. Like, yeah, like the Joker's technique is good. Bruno Brazil's technique is good for the women's standards, but like it was not exactly a chess match, and also not a brawl. I'm sorry, it's kind of a mid fight. Uh, the fighters themselves, though, they're good for the thinking about women's fight. They're good. You can keep an eye on them. Both of them are technical, mostly kind of standing. So yeah, good match. Talk about Nolan versus Borshak now. Uh, Nolan did mostly good. I lost a round. I couldn't watch some parts, but Nolan did good. DC was talking some shit because he's from wrestling. In the end, like Nolan is fucking pacing Borshak up from the bottom, like cutting it and throwing all those hammer fists from the bottom, and elbows. And like honestly, I think that's not wise to be on the bottom because you are really more susceptible to be hit, and the damage from top is mostly harder. But honestly, DC was talking shit. Nolan was very kind of very obviously winning, even though he was attacking from the bottom. And if you consider that to Borshak is ridiculous and very partial for wrestling, which is kind of a UFC thing. But more recently they changed that stuff and they are focusing more on the damage. And to be fair, thinking about that, the last round should be Nolan as well. He was piecing up. Borshak showed heart. He showed spirit and all, but honestly, like his power and his power and his toughness, we need to admire that. But he was way too one-dimensional. Nolan was winning, and I don't know about. I think it was the second round that I couldn't watch mostly, but like the third and the first is very clearly Nolan. The second most probably was as well, but I couldn't watch it all, unfortunately. Jenkins versus Santos was a good fight. Santos is very talented in the first round. Of course, he got us a little worried because he got knocked down. So we can consider it mostly like a 10-8 or something. But the second part, he really picked up the pace. Um, Maybe there's an argument that it became a 10-9 or like a 9-8 or something like that. But the big thing that we can, oh shit, sorry. But still, he was in the second and third round dominating. He was controlling on the grappling. He was doing well on the striking. The third round, he landed two beautiful leg kicks. One was roundhouse in the head. One was a front kick that really, of course, shook Jenkins. And that was like, okay, will he knock out? What will he do? But then he put on the floor. He started dominating there. He started doing, but he got to the back and got the fucking submission. Like the guy is legit. I'm sorry, Santos is for real. Great fighter, has a bright future. You know, and I believe that he's different. Of course, he's different than Charles or those people, but you can see kind of similarities. He is a very talented, great future. I believe that he deserves to kind of start being around the ranking stuff, and I think he has potential. I will not say that he has like championship potential, but I can see him at least being like in the top 10 rankings. I don't know exactly his age. He looks very young. I don't remember the exact age, but if he's like under, let's say, 28 or like less than 30, I think he can keep improving, and maybe one day he will be like championship material or at least challenger. But right now, seems like he is coming to that uh, top 15 ranking, top 10 ranking, and he's a very hyped kid. He showed great personality, being all hyped up and all. So he's has future in every aspect of the game, in my opinion. So great fighter, keep on going. Jack Mel shit. Jack Matthews versus Francisco Prado. Let's be fucking real. Prado looked small as fuck. Being 100% real right here. Matthews was way bigger. He was way more dynamic, and he seemed to be stronger. He would go in and do some amazing strikes in the pocket, short distance. Prado almost couldn't find his shots most of the time. Um, yeah, so Prado, that most said how it was like, you know. But no props for him to keeping up with that, because he managed to eat some heavy shots, heavy shots. And Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bellato was a war. Uh, Jimmy Crute um, had some moments, had some bigger moments in grappling. Jimmy Crute went better than I thought, because Jimmy Crute has not been the best. He's a talented guy, but like he have not been his best. But they both went to war. They both guessed a lot. At the end, they were dying because of cardio, and of course, damage. Both of those them took damage. Their faces were both deformed. So they need to work on their. First of all, they need to work on their tank. Yeah, and I think the draw was kind of, I don't know about, but I think it was very close fight. I completely see the draw, and yeah, great fight. Yeah, so Tyler's just fucking kill tough. Yeah, no words. He turned into a gun. Yeah, that's what you need to expect on like heavyweights. He just got fucking killed. Yeah, so let's go deeper into the Tatiana Suarez and Zhang Weili fight. The fight was close. It was very close. The first round was without a doubt to Tatiana. She almost got a submission. She was so close for a moment. I was like, okay, is it over for Zhang? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? So, but Zhang picked up the pace. She got a lot of damage. She brought a lot of damage. And I think it was the third round, or yeah, I think it was the third round that Tatiana hurt her knee, and it was so fucking bad. And on top of that, Zhang kept at the pace. Tatiana was not used. She got tired from like the second round onward. She was very tired, and Zhang kept on the pace, kept on bringing that heat, and dominating grappling and all this wrestling conversation. Zhang showed that she was better. That classical sidekick was amazing. Was always for her, and she got the hooks and she got the uppercuts and she brought the damage and she got the W. So great to see Zhang winning. She is currently my favorite female fighter out of every combat sport, basically. I love Zhang. Me, all my bros love Zhang. Yeah, so wow. What a masterclass from Dricus. I wasn't expecting that at all. I was expecting like a DDP knockout or a Strickland decision, not a dominant Dricus Duplessis decision like that. He honestly 50-45 Strickland, and I never expected that. They started out. Strickland seemed that he was feeling the pressure, which is weird for Strickland. He was feeling the pressure. He was slower. He somehow was slower. His fucking nose was broken. So yeah, the first round started out. Dricus was very like fluid in his movement dynamic. We're talking about great kicking. I didn't expect that from Dricus. Dricus keeps getting better. What the fuck is that? He seems like a pound for pound champion. He seems like a or he is a champion slayer. Let's think about that for a second. He quickly knocked out Whitaker. He won a close decision, which in my opinion Strickland won from Strickland. Then we had him submitting a lasagna. And now we see Dricus dominating Strickland. Dominating Strickland. It's unbelievable. He's a world slayer, like world champion slayer. And I'm looking so forward to his match with Shimaev, which is most likely the next one. So yeah, more volume than Strickland, more damage than Strickland. He he came back home with a kind of clean face, of me. So that's crazy work. Yeah, but all those wrote like the fucking back kick from Dracus was on point. He was throwing everything. He was throwing like he didn't look like a stocky 6'1", 220 pounds. He was fighting like he was a lengthy dude, like with the height that like a 6'1" lightweight, not a 6'1" middleweight. So yeah, he showed a lot of skills. You know, a lot of skills. He showed a whole bunch of power, like always. Naturally, uh, I felt like he was tired in the end, which is normal because he was throwing bombs all night. He was throwing all crazy shit all the time. Strickland, he was not active enough, not nearly as active enough to win a decision. Because like he needs to be very active, he needs to be outnumbering Dricus because of the damage, and he was outnumbered every round but the fourth. The fourth was the one that he fucking broke his nose. So yeah, unfortunately, like his defense was good as always, but his offense very limited. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the future, and I'm in a very close future. I'm releasing a matchmaking video. You can check it out. Um, I'm gonna put a card if I have already done that. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for attention. May God bless you all. Bye.